Hey y'all, welcome back to this week's episode of AMA Friday with Amy Miller, recruiting in yoga pants. So this week we're gonna tackle tailoring your resume. I think this is definitely a big misconception about this idea of tailoring your resume or targeting your resume to each individual role. People get really worked up about this because they think that it means you have to recreate your resume every time you want to apply. Not true, my friends, not true. All right. So we've kind of talked about this, I feel like, a lot in various videos. I will actually link to my All About Resumes playlist where I tackle a lot of different topics related to resume page length and keywords and all that fun stuff. So if it's not addressed in this video this week, hopefully I've addressed it in a previous video. So feel free to check that out or let me know down below in the comments if there's something that I should go a little deeper on. Okay, so let's talk specifically about this whole idea of tailoring your resume. So it is no secret that employers and recruiters and hiring managers are a fussy bunch, and we want to see what we want to see. And we are not always very good at articulating that to you, my friends. So I'm going to try to help you unpack how to do that more effectively. What does tailoring actually look like, and some things to look for in the job description, in the conversation with the recruiters, whatever, to give you some indicators of what that tailoring should include. All right. So first thing that I want to make sure we're very clear on is you are not rewriting your entire resume every time you apply to a job. If you are doing that, let me be very clear on this point. If you are doing that, you do not have a job search target. I know a lot of you out there are struggling with unemployment, underemployment, literally able to take anything, will do any number of things. And I appreciate that. I do. I get it. I have been there. Y'all know some of my story, okay? However, even in that situation, I am begging you, please have a clear target. Fun fact, you can have more than one target. Let me give you an example. All right. I saw a post earlier this week, a young lady who's trying to break into like UX design or something. I think not my industry, so I was completely useless, but I think it was something like that. And of course, you know, she's new to this industry, right? So she doesn't have really a lot of work experience or, you know, kind of previous history to draw from to be qualified for these roles. And so she is, of course, getting hit up a lot by recruiters who are looking for what she used to do, because that's what's on her profile, right? That's the bulk of her experience, is like customer service or something. So it makes sense. I mean, in a very, you know, baseline kind of technical way, it makes sense that she is getting contacted about roles that she's highly qualified to do. However, that's not the job she wants. This is a perfect example of someone who may have two separate job search targets. She may be open to customer service roles if that's what she has to do to keep the lights on, but her other target, her bigger target, her final target for now is going to be the UX design stuff, right? It is absolutely okay, and I highly, highly, highly recommend to have two main resumes. Your main resume, I have a video on this, we called it a master resume, which is actually not an appropriate term, so I'm sorry. But it, you know, basically the idea is that this is the bigger, you know, fuller resume that has literally everything data dumped in it, right? So that's your main resume. You're going to go in and edit that resume for each job. That's the tailoring part that we're going to get to. But let's say we have two main resumes. One is, you know, the field I'm currently working in, trying to get out of, most experienced in, will take if I have to. And then my other main resume is the field that I want to move into. Okay? That's okay. You can have more than one target, but I'm going to highly recommend that for each of those targets, you have that main or master, as we used to say, resume that you can then tweak. All right, so you can watch the video on that topic from a couple years ago. It's on the playlist. Once you have that target and you've decided, I want this kind of job, I want to work in this kind of field, now is where we're going to start doing our research. We're going to start looking for companies that hire what we want to do. We're going to start looking at job postings that fit what we want to apply for. I'm now going to use those job descriptions to create my targeted resume. So I'm going to save my main, Amy UX designer resume, and then I'm going to save it Amy UX designer Microsoft. And I'm going to tweak that to fit the Microsoft job description that I came across. And when I'm talking about tailoring the resume, I'm going to adjust my summary statement. I'm going to make sure that I'm mirroring the language that's in the job description. All right, let me actually use myself as an example for real. Okay, let's forget about the UX stuff because I don't understand any of that. I don't know how to do any of that. Never recruited for it. It's not my wheelhouse. Let's talk about recruiter. I'm a recruiter. I am a senior technical lead recruiter. I could be qualified for a sourcer role. I could be qualified for a full life cycle recruiter role. I could also be qualified for a recruiting lead or maybe even a baby recruiting manager role. Okay, so I'm gonna have my main resume that covers everything I've ever done in recruiting. And then I'm gonna find that job description from ABC company that's maybe looking for a lead recruiter. Okay, perfect. Got that, done that, got several t-shirts, right? I'm going to now take that main resume and start making those little tweaks. And if they're calling it a lead recruiter, guess what my summary statement says? I'm also a lead recruiter. Oh, look at that. We're a match. Okay, so I'm going to kind of make sure I'm mirroring the language that is used in that job description. Then I'm going to look at the responsibilities. I'm not at basic qualifications yet. We're going to get there. I'm not there yet. I'm going to look at responsibilities, and let's say one of the responsibilities is to partner with senior leadership to determine recruiting strategies. That might be something you would expect to do. I'm going to make sure in my resume, my bullet points include how, who, and when, and where I develop those strategies. So in my current role, I'm a client lead recruiter. I'm working with this particular VP of this particular business group. I meet with them once a month and we review our headcount plan. We talk about sourcing strategies. We develop plans for referral drives and interview days or whatever. So I'm going to actually dig into the specific ways that I have consulted with this leader and how we have established a regular, kind of cadence of strategy and building out what we do, right? So I won't belabor the point any more than that, but you get where I'm going with this, okay? Then the third thing I'm going to do, so I started with targeting like my summary, using the right language, mirroring what they would call me, make sure I'm using that title, using that same verbiage. Secondly, I'm going to make sure that my accomplishments speak to the responsibilities that are laid out in the job description. And then third, I'm going to make sure I'm hitting those basic qualifications. If I need to have, be a senior or lead recruiter for 3 years or more, I'm going to put that in my summary statement, right? I'm actually going to call that out. I've been a lead recruiter in a Fortune 100 company for the last 5 years or whatever it is. And of course I want this to be true. I'm not going to make it up, but I'm going to make sure that I'm actually spelling out very clearly that those basic qualifications are met. I'm using the same language so that the recruiter is like subconsciously going, oh yeah, I need a senior recruiter and she's a senior recruiter, score. And I'm also going to make sure that there's no question that I fit the basic qualifications. It is very, very clear that I fit those BQs and as many of the PQs or preferred qualifications as possible. That is the tweak I'm going to make. So I'm going to save a new version of my resume every time I apply for a job. And I'm going to file those away. I've got OneDrive, I've got Google Drive, I've got whatever. You can use a flash drive, I don't care. But I'm going to make sure that each company gets that targeted resume that took me all of 5, maybe 10 minutes if I work slow to actually pull together and edit it from the main resume that I then use as my template for each new application. That, my friends, is tailoring your resume. That's it. Please do not recreate it. Please do not overthink it. Just check for those 3 things. Did I mirror the language that they're using? Did I speak to the specific responsibilities that I could achieve those responsibilities through my verified accomplishments? And did I make sure that I left no doubt that the basic qualifications and hopefully preferred qualifications are covered? You have tailored your resume. Now go get that dream job. Okay, if you are unsure how to do this, you want to learn more about this, drop a comment down below. Let me know where I can fill in some gaps or answer any further questions. I feel like this is a pretty straightforward and relatively easy thing to do, but sometimes we want so badly to get it right, we get a little bit frozen. We just kind of stare at the computer and go, I don't know where to start. Start with a main or comprehensive or full history resume that you edit for each job. 5 minutes, 10 minutes max. You got this. I believe in you. We'll see you next week.